Okay, so now knight to f6 by Gukesh, and you can see this is 4 knights game, Italian variation, and after that d3 by Sindarov, opening the diagonal for this light square bishop, and you can see this setup mirrors with Guso pianismo, and after that d6, opening the diagonal for this light square bishop, a3, h6, and you can see until now Gukesh is just mirroring the moves of Sindarov, and after that okay, so now d4, a thematic central break. And you can see now white is immediately putting pressure on that e5 pawn. So that's why Gukesh decides to exchange on d4, knight takes d4, knight to e5, attacking the bishop. So that's why bishop to a2. Okay, so now c6, and you can see he is preparing to launch a queenside expansion. And after that, Sindarov develops his queen on e2, knight to g6 by Gukesh. He is now targeting the e4 pawn, while white's royal pieces are perfectly lined up on the e file. And after that, Sindarov activates his last rook on a1. And now black has many options to continue the game. Black can either develop the light square bishop to b7, or maybe bishop takes d4 is also possible, eliminating this active knight. And black can also advance the a pawn, which opens the diagonal for the queen and restricts the a4 square, preventing white knights to come on this a4 square. And I know some of you might be thinking that why black cannot consider the move knight takes e4. I mean, it's a free pawn. But guys, in reality, that's a mistake. This is because after knight takes e4, rook takes e4, and now I just want you all to pause the video and try to guess a tactical move which white can play in this position. And if you find the move bishop takes f7 check, then congrats, you are a genius. The idea is after king takes f7, now comes, yes, you are right, queen to f3 check, attacking the king as well as the rook. So that's why after queen to f6, queen takes e4, and you can see that's completely winning for white. And obviously Gukesh is not going to fall for this trap, so that's why in the actual game after rook at a goes to d1, and basically he now goes for queen to e7, and basically he wants to pile up the pressure on that e4 pawn, but basically this also invites white to play knight to f5, and you can see the knight lands with a massive tempo, attacking the queen on e7. So that's why bishop takes f5, e takes f5, and now just look at this pawn on e5. It's a huge threat, forcing the knight to move to an uncomfortable square, and till now you can see white is doing better. Okay, so when the dust settles, you can see white gobbles up the d6 pawn. Sindarov is now a clean pawn up, and since white is now threatening rook to d8, so to stop this, knight at 8 goes to d7, so that he can block the d file. And after that, f3, preparing to launch a brutal g4 and h4 pawn storm on the king's side. So king to f8, Gukesh basically tries to bring his king into the game. King to f2, rook to a8, and you can see he wants to bring it to e8 to challenge the open file. Okay, so now knight to b6. Maybe he wants, so basically he wants to bring this knight on d5 as well as trying to trap this rook. I mean, if white is not careful and he goes for any move like let's suppose h4, now comes knight at f goes to d5, and if bishop takes d5, king to e7, and you can see white rook is trapped. But as you can see, that's not a big issue. I mean, after knight to b6, there are many ways to tackle this, and Sindarov just brings his rook back on d4. Knight at f goes to d5. Gukesh brings his knight again into the center. Knight to g3, preparing for knight to e4 to secure a crushing central grip. So to stop this, knight to f6, covering the e4 square so that white can't enter. And after that, h4. He wants to push g5 to kick the knight and to break through. So rook to e8. And now here white must consider the move g5, but Sindarov reroutes his knight to e2, preparing for knight to f4 to add maximum pressure on the black position. Okay, so now g5. Finally, Sindarov targets the knight. And now just take a look at these pawns. I mean, these are ready to shatter the black king, and since this knight is attacked, so that's why knight to d7. And after that, bishop takes d5, c takes d5, rook takes d5. And till now, you can see white is just winning. And you can see what's coming next. And here Gukesh goes for rook to h8, and basically he wants to give a check from h2 square so that he can grab this pawn. But as you can see, now it's too late, and Sindarov just advances the c pawn further, attacking the knight. The idea is after takes, knight takes c6 check, king to e8, and in this position the final move by Sindarov is rook takes a5, and here Gukesh resigned. This is because there is nothing which black can do to save this game. I mean, as you can see here, white is now threatening rook to a8 check. So to stop this, If let's suppose knight to b6, if he tries to cover the a8 square, now comes rook to b5, attacking the knight. And where this knight can go? I mean, here the best option is knight to d7, which also keeps an eye on this b8 square so that this rook can't enter. a4, and you can see white is now going to just advancing his pawn. Rook to h2 check, king to g3, and you can see now this rook cannot grab this pawn due to the presence of this rook. Rook to c2, if he tries to attack the knight. Knight to b8, asking for knight exchange. And if let's suppose if he tries to create a breakthrough by g6, knight takes d7, king takes d7, f takes g6, f takes g6. And when the dust settles, you can see white has an absolute highway for his passed pawns on the queen side, and Gukesh has no way to stop them. What an absolute brilliant play by Sindarov. Like this video and I will see you in the next one. This is your host Bison signing off. Bye bye.